Hey, thanks everyone for tuning in to the Daily Dose for Empowering Seniors. I'm Catherine Ambrose, and our series is based on the Botanica Empowered Senior Seminars that we held for 15 months. And since the coronavirus interrupted us, we have not had our sessions for April or May, and we won't be having it for June. And so I just decided it was time to connect with those that we can. And so thankful for the seniors and senior networking professionals that are engaged online with us. And what we've realized is that we have a gap with many of our seniors that like to attend the seminar series. And we've been very delicate and dainty when it comes to asking for attendees' email addresses, because many seniors will say, I don't have email, or I don't use the computer, or I don't have a computer. So those of you that are able to connect online, that is fantastic. And if you have friends and family members that would be able to do internet-based activities, but they're just maybe shy, this coronavirus has certainly taught us that being connected online is really great, because we've been able to maintain relationships and some sense of normalcy, and that we could communicate with people. But those that are completely cut off because they maybe only can communicate by telephone, that's really tough. And so we'll be taking a bigger, having a bigger voice when it comes to encouraging seniors to stay connected. And if they have children that have been encouraging them to get a smartphone, why that would be such a great idea. Sometimes we'll hear people say, I'm too old to learn something like that, or I've made it my whole life without it. The thing of it is, though, is that think how great it would be to attend church services online, like some people have, and talk to your children and your grandchildren on the phone. So even when we can get together in person, which many of us are starting to do, it's just so much better if you can stay connected. And so we want to work on closing that gap as much as possible and encouraging people that haven't used the internet much before to maybe do it a little bit more. And so in June, I'm going to do a daily video, usually at noon, and I will be interviewing people starting tomorrow. So we're going to do a series of 20 of these, and then we'll see how it goes. I also think that this month we'll do a Zoominar. I'm going to do a webinar, and I'm going to invite everyone whose email I do have to participate in the webinar. And also, of course, you can tune in if we live stream it, which we hope to do, and also watch it later. And so we appreciate those of you that are maybe watching now and those that will watch this later. I know our interviews will be really good. We're lining up some good people, and we'd love to hear your ideas and suggestions of people to interview and topics and questions that you might have. And on StreamYard, which this is the very first time ever that I'm using StreamYard, I didn't even practice ahead of time, so hopefully it's working. You can log into StreamYard and you can be part of this live broadcast, and you can type in your questions and have those questions shown on the screen. Or if I could see this happening, it's supposed to be live streaming to our Facebook page, Empowering Seniors. And if I could see that stream, I could maybe get questions from that. So March 12th was our last seminar. March 13th, my family went into voluntary stay-at-home quarantine, I'll call it. And we took this whole thing very seriously, where we really stayed at home. In 2 months, probably only left the home about less than a handful of times. We have 2 adult children that live with us, so it's been nice that 4 of us are living in the home together. And different family members would take turns doing a supply run with masks and gloves. And the reason for our caution is because we've just taken it seriously, listening to the experts. We all feel like we have health issues that could be comorbidity issues that could make it especially bad for us. I have asthma as an example. I'm overweight, and it's a concern. And most importantly is that we are caregivers for my husband's parents. And in fact, my father-in-law this morning got rushed to the hospital. He's really having a hard time with several different issues. And so we really understand what it's like to be going through scary disease processes and end-of-life processes. Like many of you have helped other family members. And I'm so glad that we have been part of Empowered Senior, I was inspired to do this, and that so many people have participated to help educate us about hospice and home health and in-home care and so many other things, so we can have a choice on rehab facilities. And I feel that the information that we've been providing in the seminar series and now on the TV show has been very valuable. The TV show on PBS, our local KPTS affiliate, we just finished season 1. The 12th episode aired in May, and so that's been complete. And then season 2 was to begin in June, has a weekly series, and we were going to have Friday night. That's still the plan, but we haven't been doing any taping of episodes because of the shutdown. And I'm not sure how soon we're going to pick that up. I think for both the television show and the seminar series, I've got work to do in terms of underwriting so that we can keep these things going and just see what the feasibility is like. One thing I know for sure is that the internet makes it possible for us to continue our candid conversations. And so help spread the word that this is a way that people can plug in, and the information that we are going to be providing is for anyone, anywhere in the country and beyond. So it doesn't have to just be for Wichita, Kansas, where we're doing this right now. And the television station reaches across most of Kansas. And we feel that the messages that we have to share with Kansas professionals and some of the national and international professionals that we've brought into our conversations could benefit anyone, anywhere. So again, this is the Daily Dose, and I'll do this Monday through Friday for the 4 weeks in June. I'm not sure if I'll do that last Monday and Tuesday of the month, and we'll just see how it goes. And watch for upcoming information on the webinar. And see if you can figure out how to log into StreamYard so you can participate on a daily basis through the month of June. There'll be something new to try. And make sure that I have your email address so we can invite you to the webinar. This month we were going to do Aging Brain, and I'm not sure if we're going to be ready to put that one together. I think we might cover some of the topics that we've had to skip. That would be a little bit easier for us to do. You know, what I do for a living is real estate. My husband, Randy, and I help people buy and sell the homes that they live in. And one of the topics that we cover quite a bit is downsizing. And so that'll be an easier topic for us to cover. Wednesday, I'm going to have Christy McClelland with Christy Mack Estate Sales on, and we're going to have a very interesting conversation about estate sales. You know, they've been on hold during this whole pandemic thing, and they're just getting ready to kick off. And so we're going to talk about that and how people can make more money doing an estate sale than a garage sale. And what I found, thanks to our Empowered Senior resources, is that in my own life, I'm never going to do a garage sale again. We have been just putting things into living estate sales on consignment. And it's so much easier than having your own garage sale. And the bigger and more exciting that we can make every estate sale, the more successful it will be for the homeowner that is liquidating the extra things in their estate, and also for everyone else that's participating. So we try to make every estate sale really exciting with a lot of merchandise. By the way, Christy and I will be telling you about an estate sale that we have coming up, hopefully, that might have the largest sunflower collection that I've ever seen. Beautiful sunflower art, and that's going to be pretty cool. We will probably even do a live broadcast if we are able to work it out from that location, and show off some of the things that might be coming up in a future sale. So downsizing is something that might be on a lot of people's minds. In fact, I think that this whole pandemic and now the riots have been a kind of a sit-down opportunity to sit down and think about things and reflect on things and think about, am I living where I want to live? Am I living the way I want to live? Am I doing everything that I might like to do with my life? It's just a good time to reevaluate. We really don't have any choice other than to really do a lot of thinking and pondering and considering. Going into 2020, I think a lot of people had great hopes for the year, and I think this year could maybe be hopefully a gift in a way that was very unexpected. And certainly it's a tragedy what people are going through with the virus, with rioting, and all the unintended consequences of that. For example, right now, my father-in-law is at the hospital, and his wife, my mother-in-law, and my husband can't get in to be with him. Now, we just found out, though, that Randy can get in to be with his dad between 3 and 8 p.m. So that's like brand new news that maybe you can be with a loved one. We understand that pediatric patients can maybe have a loved one with them, and someone that is having surgery can have a loved one in the surgical waiting room. But other than that, that maybe family hasn't been allowed. But we did hear today that my husband, but not my mother-in-law, can be in to see my father-in-law for a few hours today, which is amazing. I think that it's really important when you have a loved one in the hospital to have someone there at all times as an advocate, and just so that they know that they have someone there with them. And so this has just been so sad, the people that have gone through things without their family there, and passed away without their family there. I hope that some of what we're going through causes changes. I think the shutdowns at first seemed really necessary, to flatten the curve so that we would have respirators. We all were told that people would be dying in the hallways of hospitals, not having access to respirators. And yet the shutdown continued and continued. And I feel that it's going to have a very big impact on so many people, way beyond what was necessary. And there's so many unintended consequences. And I think that it's helped fuel the riots in a way too, because there's so many people that are just so stressed out. My intention is that Daily Dose just helps add a little bit of cheeriness and something interesting to your life, and that you'll participate. And I would encourage you to not be glued to the news. News is really intended to check in real quick, if at all, check in real quick and see what's going on, and then shut it off and go do something. And I know that many of you are doing that you're gardening and doing things. And we all have a lot of choices to make. For example, how long are we going to stay disconnected with family? So finally, 3 of us in this household decided to go visit cousins out in the country, 3 people out in the country. And that was really great to get reconnected with them. And I know of people that are at end of life stages that haven't seen their grandchildren through this whole entire time because they're trying to be careful. And as this drags out, it might be important to say, okay, I've had enough, and I want to see my grandkids. So how are you dealing with all of this? What kind of choices have you been making? I know I've talked to a lot of people that have really stayed at home, and other people that are the complete opposite end of the spectrum and don't know whether to be scared at all. So let me know what you're thinking and what you'd like to hear us talk about. And let's figure out a way to get you engaged and involved in the conversation. So tune in tomorrow where we kick off the interviews. Thanks for being here today. If you'd like more information about what we have going on, you can tune into our Empowering Seniors with Catherine Ambrose Facebook page. Also, Catherine Ambrose, a YouTube page. I'm live streaming to both of those. Hopefully it's working. And the empoweredsenior.org website, I've added a tab called Equip, and that is our communication page. And so I'll do my best to learn right along with you about being better equipped to communicate online and share things of importance there so we can stay connected. I will let you know as soon as we know more about Botanica and as we know more about the show. And thank you for watching, and make it a great day. Bye-bye.